Well, good morning, everybody. It's that time of the month again when we put out another webinar for supporting you in your chosen career as a property manager or a property management company owner, because as I used to be one of those, I've learned that there is a lot of experience that needs to be shared with other people in the industry. So welcome along. We'll probably have a few stragglers joining us later. Oh, here they come now. They're starting promptly at 11 o'clock. So I hope you've got a coffee in your hand and a chocolate biscuit and a pen as well so that you can take some notes. Um, and I hope that you'll share this webinar with your colleagues and let them know that we do this every month. So good morning. How are numbers going? Yep, getting a bit healthier. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'm going to improve it slightly. So, this is part two of Who is Your Perfect Client Owner? I did part one last month and I split it in two because I saw two distinct um, operations that you could apply to your business, to your rent roll, or your just your daily work with your client owners. So in part one, you would have learned how to grade your current owners A, B, and C, or A, B, C, D, um, so that you can get a handle on what kind of owners you have on your rent roll. You can also do this to filter out prospective new owners that you might decide that you don't want to take them on as a client owner, because you've identified them as not being at the level that you want in terms of owners. So if you use that refinement regularly, you can improve the quality of the service that you offer. And it will also help you to develop efficiencies for your work. And property managers are under the hammer, under a lot of pressure a lot of the time. I know I've been one for 22, 23 years. And it can be almost overwhelming sometimes. So any efficiencies that you can develop have got to be a bonus. So if you did the session last month and you have now A, B, and C your clients, um, well done you. The next thing to be aware of is the types of owners that you will have coming at you or that you've already got that you work with every day. So there's several different types of client owners, and I'm going to go through some notes with you. This is based on stuff done by Darren Hunter, who is a property management trainer in Australia. He's very good. You'll find him online. Daryl Hunter is the name, and he puts out a lot of really good material. So many different types of client owner, and I'm going to highlight the most common ones. So the first one is the DIY landlord. And I'm sure you're conjuring up a mental picture already. So this is the type of landlord that generally has been managing the property that they've got, or they're doing it themselves. And they're doing it themselves for several reasons. They're pretty obvious. They've got plenty of free time to devote to this. They feel that money is tight and they don't really want to spend it. They like to have complete control over the whole process. They think that they can do a better job than a property manager. Lots of people do. The number of people that I meet, they go, "Oh yeah, I manage properties," and you find out how they go about it, and it's a bit of a disappointment. Or the DIY landlord may have taken over control of the rental because they've had a bad experience with another property manager in the past. So typically, this type of client can have a property which it might not be in the best condition, high wear and tear, maybe from poor quality tenants in the past, or a high number of tenants. And they find it difficult to relinquish control of the property. They like to be in control. So they might be a B or a C class owner. They might call you because the tenant didn't mow the lawns last week. or they didn't bring the wheelie bin in the last few days, and they are, in inverted commas, concerned that the tenant at the tenant quality that you've given them. So you might want to reconsider taking them on. Second one I'll deal with is the default landlord, an interesting one. This is when a property owner needs to move away from their home with a job or family. They're moving to a different town. They need to rent out the family home, and remember there'll be a lot of emotion involved with that. Typical issues can be unreasonable expectations with maintenance and upkeep of the property. And a lot of that is based on the fact that they've lived in the property themselves for years. They have very high expectations for avoiding wear and tear, and they might get unreasonable with that too. And if they move back in later on after you've tenanted it and managed it for a while, they can sometimes come with a photographic memory and an unpleasant emotional reaction to the level of wear and tear. It can be really difficult situation to manage. I've got several examples of dealing with owners who have gone absolutely off the cliff with all the problems that they've told me about. And when you see the problems, they're very small. But people in that situation can take up a lot of your time. Third one to deal with is the sales landlord. So this is when the property's been on the market for sale for a long time. And in the current climate, and I'm again speaking to property managers frequently, spoke to one yesterday who told me that the rental market in Napier and Hastings is disastrous. They've got places empty for weeks and weeks. And I've also had phone calls from people saying, well, how can I put a tenant in my place? There's nobody coming to the viewings. So I understand your pain. So the sales landlord is somebody who's selling the family home, or they're selling their rental, or the property is on the market and they're getting no bites. So they come back, they take the step back to let's just rent it out and get some money coming in. Well, that's not as effective either. It's obviously a short-term thing if somebody's bringing you a property that they've been trying to sell, because they're going to put it on the market soon anyway. So it might not be in your best interest to take them on, because in a year's time they're going to try the market again. The other thing is if you did get tenants for their property, it's a short-term thing, and tenants willing to live under conditions like sales, open home viewings going on around about them, that might make them feel uncomfortable, and it's not the best relationship to have with a tenancy. Number 4, the controller, and these are people who will want to rewrite paragraphs of your management agreement. I have actually had I had one owner memorably who loved the look of us, wanted us to take on her property. We sent her the management agreement, and she corrected or rewrote, I think it was 9 of the paragraphs of the management authority. And when she sent it back, we couldn't believe it. But it turned out she was a property lawyer, and it helped improve our management agreement, which was great, for free. And she became a client, and a very good one. So the controller is somebody who wants to rewrite all aspects of your management agreement. And if you still decide to proceed with the management, they can be hard to please, and they might be way too controlling during the management and question your every action. And basically, they just don't trust you, and that's not a quality valued client that you want to have on your rent roll. Number 5, the multiple property landlord. And so in most cases, these people will approach you with a number of properties for you to manage, and they make it very clear that they are not paying full rate. They will be looking for a discount, not a small discount, but a big discount, because they're bringing you a number of properties. And you want to point out to them that what they're bringing you is more work, and you need to be paid for providing that service. So They'll also quite often want to control everything about their properties. If they've been managing them themselves, then I'll refer you back to the DIY landlord. That was the first one that we dealt with. They want to be controlling on over everything. They want a discount in their fees, and they'll be tight on spending money on repairs. They'll have all sorts of complications, like they'll have a string of tradespeople that they'll want you to use because they know the property, and that can end up being creating a lot of friction as well. So you might want to make sure that you're filtering people like this out, unless you want to sign them up and you just want more work, go for it. But you want to refine your rent roll and the owners that you work with so that you're not working 80 hours a week, which a lot of property managers seem to be. So, sixth one I'm going to deal with this morning is a C-class landlord. And again, referring back to last month's session, when I suggested that you A, B, and C your clients so that you can refine your rent roll. A C-class landlord is like a packet of cigarettes. They're going to take years off your life. And that's typified by them being over-demanding, unreasonable, taking up too much time, and demanding 150% service. And they'll want way too much rent for their property. They won't listen to the market changes. They can be hard work, a C-class landlord, but they can be trained to be B-class and ultimately A-class, and we've achieved that ourselves here too. So if they're wanting a discount and you want to secure the business, make sure you can get your rate back up to what you're offering, so that you've got the strongest business. The seventh one to deal with, and I have had a good bit of experience with this, is the committee. So this can sometimes be a property that's to do with a church or a community group. It can have a kind of a body corp set up to it, and they're usually good at maintaining their properties, but decision making is a long, slow process because they have to notify everybody involved in the committee. And if you have to take on a client like this, you've got to be prepared to understand that the decisions take a long time to be made, and there's a lot of people to be consulted with. So they can be tricky to deal with. Number eight of 11, just so that you know how far we're going this morning. Number 8 is the demolisher. That's usually a property developer and possibly a good client in the longer term. But right now they've brought you a ratty old house to rent out until the economic situation is right to demolish it and redevelop the site. So it quite often will be a house that is not rental compliant. And as we all know, the rental regulations have changed drastically over the last few years for the better. It means that there's more quality properties on the market. And so the demolisher will sometimes come with a house that's going to need a lick of paint or a new carpet, or it's going to need windows sorted, a lot of maintenance stuff, and that can be time consuming to manage. If the demolisher redevelops and brings the managed back to you when the work is all done, that's great. That improves things greatly. But they might just redevelop and sell the property, and then you've lost that business again. Number 9 is quite common, the estate or the family estate. And as an example, the parents are deceased and the family home is controlled by their children and they want to rent the property out. It also connects to the committee idea. You quite often can have the family in deep discussions on what they want to do. Do they want to sell, or do they want to rent it out and hold on to it? And there's a lot of emotion involved in that as well. Sometimes this type of business is okay, but you might be stuck with a property that needs a really good overhaul and renovation because the decor is out of date. It's got shag pile carpet and orange kitchen and the avocado toilet suite, and that doesn't make it easy to rent. So also that could be a property that's had long-term senior tenants, and so everything has been a bit neglected for a long time, and it makes it even harder to rent out. Number 10, the transfer landlord. So this is somebody who they've got a property manager now, or they've had a property manager in the past, and they've had a bad experience, and they're not happy with just property management in general. But they've washed up on your shore, and they're wanting to find out what you can do for them. And so, in most cases, if you can provide a better service than your competition, and in truth, that's not hard to do. I have found in my experience that you can offer a top quality service and expect spend the same amount of energy as if you give a bad level of service. So I think you should opt for the top level of service. The transfer landlord can quite often be a really good owner to have, but they can be hard to win over because of their previous bad experience. So the last one this morning, so I'm working fast today. I know you're itching to get back to your jobs or your cup of tea and your chocolate biscuit. So the 11th client owner profile that I've got here is the property investor, and these are the ones that you want. By far the best client to get. This, in most cases, these are people who are disconnected from the emotion of the property, as they've probably never lived in it, and it was purchased as an investment vehicle. They'll probably have a buy and hold strategy, and that means they're likely to hang on to the property for a long time and not to sell for a while. So, and they won't be wanting to move into it as an occupier either. So they're treating it as a business, and those are the clients that you really want to hang on to or secure. They're generally motivated by peace of mind. They want to know that they can go and get on with their lives, safe in the knowledge that the property is under management by somebody who knows what's going on and is looking after their best interests. They're generally motivated, as I said, by peace of mind, and they've learned that you get what you pay for. As long as you service their needs, they're happy with your fees, and the management just ticks along fine for years and years. Again, from personal experience, I've had clients that have been with me for 10, 12, I think in one case, 18 years. So apply those profiles to the people that get in touch with you as prospective owners or your existing owners, which you've ABC'd after last month's session. And it might give you a different picture of the people that you're working with and help you to identify the ones that take up most of your time, and you can work on training them to be better owners, training them to be B class or A class owners. So there you have it. That's today's session, short and sweet. If you would like a copy of some notes of this, you can flick me an email through the RPME website, and we'll get that sorted for you. You can also pick up a copy of this recording and watch it or listen to it at a later date. Next month, we've got an interesting session, which I'm not going to tell you about. So I'd insist that you connect with us, sign up to come along to the next session, and we will see you then. Otherwise, oh, sorry, looks like I've got a question. No, it says somebody that can't hear me. Kim, is that right? My sound controls all turned up. I can't help you, Kim. That's beyond my pay grade. That's a technical question, so I don't know why that is like that. So we'll catch you next month. Please share the recording with your colleagues, and if you are coming to the seminar, the webinar in person, bring a friend. I think would be a good thing to do. So enjoy the day, enjoy your cup of tea and your chocolate biscuit, and we will see you next month. Bye.